the Dunkin Donuts Center here in Providence, Rhode Island, USA. This is the featured contest of the evening. And it's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing USA and broadcast live on Dazn, D-A-Z-N, Dazn, and exclusively to the United Kingdom on Sky Sports. Sponsored by JD Sports and Snack Nutrition. Sanctioned by the Rhode Island State Athletic Commission Director Liz Tanner and the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, Supervisor in attendance John Duggan. The three judges scoring: Glenn Feldman, Robin Taylor, and Donald Trela. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee Edgardo Claudio. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, with his head trainer, Pietro Vilshavsky, wearing white with red, weighing in officially at 159.5 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 28 victories, 11 big wins by knockout, only one defeat. From Warsaw, Poland, the challenger, the #1 ranked WBO contender in the world, the WBO International Middleweight Champion, Maciej Sulecki. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, with his trainer, Paul Andrade, wearing white trimmed with maroon. And he officially weighed in at 159.9 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 27 fights. 27 victories, including 17 wins by knockout, and he's a three-time world champion. He's the two-time light middleweight world champion and the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO middleweight champion of the world, the Fighting Pride of Providence, Rhode Island, USA, Demetrius Andrade.
Has to be terrific, Sergio, for him to hear the hometown cheers. There's no roar quite like that.
Nothing like it, and being the defending champion. It's incredible, incredible feeling. Dream come true.
Andrade looking to put on a show being watched by the other titleists, including the middleweight champion of the world.
I'm gonna let you guys work the belt line, okay? Remember, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. The WBO middleweight title's on the line. All I expect is a good, clean fight, obey my commands, and protect yourselves at all times. You understood? Good luck, Demetrius. Bomosenya, McKay. Touch him up.
Andrade evidently not a believer in staring down your opponent just before the bout. Interesting. I mean, there's no reason to. You're going to fight the guy either way.
Yeah,
but it's different, Sergio.
Usually that's machismo. I love staring down my opponent, but this man's been on top for so long. Andrade doesn't need to play those mind games.
No, he does not. Tall middleweight, excellent defensive skills. Fluid on the attack. We're underway. Demetrius Andrade and Maciej Sulecki. And we will see early on, does Sulecki have the speed to hang with the titleist? It will be difficult. Andrade is fast, and he has good pop on his punches as well. Not a knockout artist, but he has good pop.
3 fights for Demetrius Andrade at 160. He has got 5 knockdowns in those 3 fights.
Sulecki, quick with the jab so far. Again, a traditional fighter coming straight up, conventional. Andrade trying angles. and winging shots.
Andrade already caught Sulecki with the overhand left, and he went.
And right hand goes down. Wow, that was fast. Left hand, excuse me, from Andrade put Sulecki down in the opening minute. Now Sulecki with a wide stance trying to survive.
It was an overhand left that landed before, and he took it downstairs, caught Sulecki off guard, was able to catch it around the glove.
Andrade said that he thought Sulecki had a style that would be perfect for him. So far, it definitely looks that way. Boy, Andrade really hasn't even established his jab yet. Normally, he does that in his fights. The chant of boo-boo is out here in Providence.
This has also been the case with Andrade. He gets the early knockdowns, but he still ends up going to decision, not able to take guys out. This would be a big statement if he can take out a tough fighter, a top contender like Sulecki.
Sulecki able to land his own right hand just a moment ago, but definitely hurt early in this fight and down. And Andrade is backed up. Andrade finding a home for that left hand. Sulecki has to clear his head, and he just gets pushed down. You have to wonder, Sulecki was dropped twice by Gabe Rosado in that last fight. We've seen him a number of times, Sergio, where he's had black eyes from sparring. He did even at the last fight that we were at for Steve Rolls and Triple G. He had a black eye there from sparring.
That black eyes, a bruised nose. In the fighter meeting, he had a slight black eye, so you could tell that sparring partners have been laying into him a little bit too.
And as is often the case with the southpaw versus orthodox, you have to watch the feet. A couple of times, looks like they've been caught up together.
I tell you, that was close as well. Left hand there. When they exchange, Andrade has a clear path to the nose of Sulecki. A clear path, straight up the middle. And now the jab and a hook. Has Sulecki in the corner in the final seconds of round one. He gets backed up, but pretty much all Andrade in the first round.
Okay? Listen. Circle to your right now. All right? Take his right hand out of the equation and change your level. Okay? Instead of going head hunting, I want you to hit this elbow when you tap. Because he's raising it up high, and you're going to get that body shot right there. Keep circling to your right. Change the angle now. Okay? Got that? Spread it out. There you go. Don't make this a war, make it a boxing match. Okay?
And here's the left hand that Andrade landed right before the knockdown. It was that chopping right hand to the top of the head that really catches your attention. It was that double shot that did it.
Paul Andrade, Demetrius' dad, is his trainer in the corner, and he says, hey, look, don't make this into a war. Make it into a boxing match. No more head hunting. But I don't know, it looked pretty good early on, Sergio.
It looks great. We're not used to seeing Andrade this aggressive, and this wound up before in the first round.
Now snapping out a hard jab. But that is that winging left hand that is doing the damage. And the angle he is presenting to Sulecki is very problematic to the Polish middleweight. That is finding a home. It's going straight up the middle and finding its target. Andrade, though, fighting differently. See, even with his legs spread a little bit more, normally he's on his toes, Sergio, snapping out a jab and boxing. There's a little bit more of that, but he seems like he wants to fight.
He wants to fight, but he's still keeping his distance. And yes, it's a foot battle right there. I mean, this is like chess with their feet right now. It's a southpaw and an orthodox fighter. It could always be tricky with the foot there, but foot positioning is excellent by Andrade.
Early on, Chris, we were wondering, does Sulecki have the speed to hang with Andrade? I'm not sure if he does.
I don't think he does, but I think he does have the power to change the course of this fight. So Andrade's going to be careful not to get caught with anything straight down the middle.
Sulecki was able to normalize things by the end of that round, was able to land his own right hand and able to weather that storm. And that has to be very disconcerting. You're in the champion's hometown. Crowd is going wild. You've been knocked down. Very difficult. Takes a lot of inner strength to get back on your feet and then box normally and try to right the ship. Sulecki moving now, trying to keep different angles, trying to keep Andrade at bay, give him a different look. Misses with a jab, slips a jab from Andrade. And Andrade giving away his height as well. Again, they're listed both at 6'1", but Andrade I thought was the taller fighter, but he is hunched over now. More power, but not as easily outboxing Sulecki as he could.
Well, Sulecki is a good upright. He stands erect, and he has a good pinpoint 1-2. So he's trying to take away that accuracy, I think, Andrade is. That's why he's giving him that perpetual upper body movement.
Andrade tries with the left to the body. Sulecki is good to get straight up the middle with the jab in the right hand, the 1-2. We thought Andrade would come in snapping out a jab using his superior movement and kind of pick Sulecki apart. Instead, he was able to stand in front of him and throw hard shots and gain a first-round knockdown. He wants to stay in the pocket clearly. Right hand at the end of the round from Sulecki.
An aggressive first round, a defensive second round.
Nie możesz mu się dać zepchnąć do ring. Kontynuuj walkę w środku ringu. Jest bezpieczniej. Odchyl się troszeczkę na taką nóżkę. Jest bezpieczniej. Prawą ręką, lewą ręką go wciągasz. Lewy góra, lewy bark. Po to, żeby wszędzie wejdzie prawa kontra i przejście na zewnątrz, za plecy jego. Nie daj mu się. Za łatwo cię spycha do ring. Środek ringu kontynuuj. My wybieramy presję. Staramy się być przednią ręką. Słuchaj, piersi, lewa ręka, głowa, bark, dół, po to, żeby go wciągnąć. Ruszy się prawa kontra.
Can't fuck with it. His head moves left, it comes right back. I mean, to the right, it comes right back.
Maciej Sulecki comes off a win over Gabe Rosado that can be viewed in several ways. He had an outstanding boxing performance for 8 rounds, but it also featured a disastrous 9th round where he was dropped twice and nearly KO'd. You wonder if that would have any effect on him moving forward. And possibly it did. Round 3 here, Sulecki able to normalize things in that second round and box better. Chris Mannix, though, you gave that second round to Andrade as well.
I did, but Andrade landed the more impactful shots. Sulecki's interesting. You mentioned the Rosado fight. The end of that, it sort of exposed some stuff about his chin because Rosado is not a big puncher at 160 pounds. But he also went the distance with Daniel Jacobs, who is a pretty good puncher at 160 pounds.
And that was a competitive fight. That was in April of last year. Sulecki boxed well in that bout, but he has his hands full here tonight. Andrade with the first round knockdown. Looks spectacular. We've seen him look spectacular against Walter Clantondakwa in October in Boston. 4 knockdowns in that fight.
And against a cagey fighter like Akavov, too. That fight should have probably went the distance, but the referee stopped it with 10-15 seconds left in the 12th round.
That was a dubious stoppage, but Andrade still looked very good in that fight.
Yes, he did.
It looks terrific here. Round 3 in Providence, fighting in front of his hometown fans for the first time as a pro. Right hand just missed by Sulecki.
See, when you're fighting a southpaw like that, it serves you right not to throw the punch where his head is at. You gotta throw the punch where his head's gonna be at, and that's usually by his left shoulder, Andrade's left shoulder. So throw it down instead of trying to throw it up at his head.
Andrade is not a stationary target. Good head movement by the middleweight titleist. Flashing out a jab, but it's falling short. Sulecki, at least, it seems a little different in this round, doesn't it? Sulecki able to get back in there, find different angles that are leading to more success. At least slow things down, Sergio.
No, well, Sulecki is a top contender, and he had an extensive amateur pedigree with over 100 fights as well. So this is a fighter that knows how to stand up upright and land a 1-2, and he has respectable power as well. He has good timing.
Andrade, though, fighting differently. Again, he is in a squat position. Legs are bent. He's able to get more power and seemingly not worried about staying in the pocket against Sulecki.
Another thing Sulecki told us is he was raised sparring and fighting southpaw, so a left-hander is nothing new to him, nothing tricky that he can't figure out.
Took him around, though. Andrade now goes to work. Another hard left hand on Sulecki. Throws to the body. Now with an uppercut from the left side.
We wanted Andrade to be aggressive while we're seeing another side of Boo Boo tonight.
Final seconds, switches to orthodox. And the end of the round. Andrade is aggressive tonight.
Big right hand. Don't play with that jab so he can throw right hand on you. All right? Remember, once his head, it just goes back. Comes here, comes right back. All right?
Excellent main event so far, and we look forward to July 27th. 140-pound unification. Maurice Hooker, Jose Ramirez, that in Texas. Here the main event, Demetrius Andrade and Maciej Sulecki. A knockdown in round 1 from Andrade, and Andrade winging hard shots in round 3. Sulecki able to clear his head, figure things out, and at least be able to stand in there with the very aggressive Andrade.
Good body shot by Andrade there. He was uncharacteristically aggressive in that last round, but we wanted that. That's what we've been asking for from him, and he definitely has that. He has that side.
You know, I don't feel that. We keep hearing that narrative, Sergio, that, well, he's got to knock guys out. He's got to look spectacular. I think he just has to look spectacular, and I thought he has done that. Now, this is more exciting, but I find it exciting him just standing up on his toes, flashing out a jab, and dominating.
And listen, I'm a big fan of Andrade as well, but look, the fans, the casual fans, the people that want to make the Canelo and the Golovkin fight, they respect knockouts, and that's what exactly he's going for. Look at,
should he go orthodox? Sergio, what do you think of that?
Yeah, he's a natural right-hander. Why not? I mean,
but is he better boxing that way?
I think with his experience and pedigree, he can box any which way and be fantastic.
Back to southpaw. He just looks so smooth as a left-hander.
He is smooth. He's been on top of his game for a long time. 2008 Olympian, he's undefeated, 2-time world champion, 2 weight divisions. He's a bad man in front of us.
And to that extent, he's had management issues, promotional issues. That's why he's never fought here in Providence. That's why he's kind of been the odd man out. And yet you could always say, this guy can box.
Yeah, look, I've had this conversation with Terrence Crawford. I've had it with Crawford's trainer, Brian McIntyre. They both say Demetrius Andrade is one of the most talented fighters they've ever seen.
And now looking to create a demand, create a mandate to fight either Canelo or Triple G. Canelo Alvarez beat Daniel Jacobs May 4th. 10-fight deal signed up with Dazn. He has 8 left. Triple G knocked out Steve Rolls on June 8th. 6-fight deal, he has 5 left. You figure at some point, those two are going to have to mix it up with this man. You would figure,
They're
right?
going to have to, because he does have something that they need. If Canelo Alvarez wants to be the undisputed middleweight king, the road leads to Providence, and that man right there, the WBO middleweight champion.
I think that helps his leverage. I think Canelo is the middleweight champion, Sergio, no matter what, even if the WBO belt is out there. But I think his skill and his resume alone, especially he gets a commanding win here against Sulecki, that should create the demand.
Belts always have something right there. I think Sulecki's a little hurt with the overhand left that landed on top of his head.
Back again, final seconds.
And nothing.
That hard left hand lands again. Sulecki shakes it off, but that hit him clean. And another one, clean to the body. Sulecki immobile now. And the bell rings just in time for him.
Nothing gets past Andrade. He knew he caught him at the top of the head, and he had a wounded fighter in front of him. Went after him.
Miałeś nie stać, dobrze, bo chciałeś przyjąć i oddać mu w tempo, okej.
This is what you have to do.
Wyszło, nogi uruchamiam. Słuchaj, Maciej.
You have to block his
My
punches
musimy
and
rozdawać
punch
karty.
back.
My musimy stać w środku ringu. Jak stoimy,
You have
musimy
to
bezpiecznie.
fight in the middle of the ring.
Nie możemy się cofnąć.
You
Trzymaj go,
cannot
odchyć
go
nożyczkę
back.
na zakończenie nogę.
You cannot
Wydłuż mu
be on the
dystans.
line.
Popierasz się do przodu,
have to go
załatwiasz
forward.
punkty do trafienia, rozumiesz? I chodzimy w lewą stronę. Prawa ręka wyżej, lewy.
You go
Dwa
left.
lewe, prawo,
You go
stynamy.
left and you
W
hit him with the
lewą
right.
stronę. Okej, nie daj się zdepnąć do defensywy.
You cannot let
cios,
yourself
i od razu nóżki.
play
Nie ma
defense.
bronienia się w miejscu.
You cannot defend yourself and stay in one place. You have to go forward.
Piotr Wilczewski there, furiously giving instructions to Sulecki. What should he be telling him, Sergio?
Well, they want him to go forward, but that's going to be very dangerous going in against a left-hander, a sharp puncher that can hit you from every angle like that. So that's the reason Sulecki is backing up like that.
Chris, had to have it scored.
Got it a shutout for Demetrius Andrade. Took the first round 10-8, 10-9 since then.
Demetrius Andrade now up on his toes, moving around, showing the movement. See if he does this, he can win fights going away. He has that ability. He can make it more exciting, though, and he has definitely done that through 4 rounds here in front of the hometown fans. Look at the movement, able to duck under a jab and slip a right hand. Showing the versatility now in round 5. Well, that's the Sugar Ray Leonard MO, is that you move, and you dictate the terms of engagement. Because at any moment, you can stand, plant, and dig in. Sugar Ray Leonard did that. Andrade with a chance to do it here.
That's ring generalship, Brian, and you're going to fight on my terms. I'm not fighting on your terms. I'm going to move, I'm going to stick, I'm going to box, I'm going to fight you when I want to.
Sulecki trying to get into a rhythm now and try to move a little faster with Andrade. That's going to be difficult. But he's trying. Good head movement by Andrade. Hardest thing in the world to do, Sergio, stand right in front of a professional fighter and make him miss. Andrade able to do that beautifully.
Just an excellent IQ that Andrade has. He's just a phenomenal boxer to watch. He really is.
Trying to put on a show. Landing to the body. Throwing a right hand to the head. Sulecki with a lot of pride moves in, tries to land his own shot. Andrade getting in a good rhythm himself. Moving and slipping. Sulecki only landing an average of 5 punches per round. Andrade is fighting a beautiful defensive fight, an overhand right.
And Brian, to your earlier point, did that out of the orthodox stance. Still fighting that way.
Andrade landed 2 overhand rights right there. Tried for the 3rd one. That one was blocked. But he's having fun in there. Look at him.
Trying a little bolo shot. He's already established that he can move his head and get out of the way of Sulecki's shots. So if Sulecki tries something more, gets out of his comfort zone, he could get countered with something hard.
Andrade is trying to memorize Sulecki with the head movement, the arm waving, the movement, just to land overhand shots.
And infuriate him a little bit too, Sergio, isn't he?
Embarrass him.
Yeah.
You're not on my level.
Flicking out a jab now from the southpaw stance, and then a hard left hand again from Andrade. Beautiful movement by the champ.
Hanging up there? How do you feel? I got this. Get another water. Get another water. Water, please. Right there? Or underneath?
Sharon Parker, Andrade's mom, watching her son box beautifully tonight in the homecoming fight. They must be getting caught somewhere along the line, Sergio. They've got the end swell over the eye.
He's doing everything, firing on all cylinders. And you mentioned Sugar Ray Leonard earlier in the round. Well, there's the bolo punch that he did against Marvin Hagler. Just trying to frustrate Sulecki, embarrass him, making him miss. Letting him know he's not on his level.
Likely winning every single round here. Main event, Providence, Rhode Island, here on Dazn. Brian Kenny with Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora, round 6. Chris, I take it that's how you have it?
Shutout all the way through.
Andrade in the white trunks, the brown trim. Maciej Sulecki of Warsaw, Poland in the white trunks with the red trim. Round 6, all Demetrius Andrade, and a different Andrade tonight. And again, in trying to force the action, either between Canelo Alvarez or Gennady Golovkin, showing off the power, showing off the skill, and have the boxing community, fans, promoters, the entire industry eventually put enough pressure on to say, if you are the middleweight king, you must eventually fight this man. Uppercut there, beautifully done by Andrade. And you see the punches landed wide in favor of Andrade. And Chris Mannix, you were talking about this earlier, but Canelo floating other options out there other than Triple G and Callum Smith, who's the champ at 168, Sergey Kovalev, who was once the champ at 175, now 36 years old. Do you think those are realistic possibilities?
I think it's more than just a realistic possibility for Kovalev. Kovalev's promoter, Main Events, does not have an official offer from Golden Boy to fight Canelo, but there is an expectation in the coming days there will be one. So at this point, I think Sergey Kovalev is the leader to face Canelo Alvarez in the fall.
And if that happens, though, then Gennady Golovkin is going to need an opponent, right? Is any chance of Andrade being that guy?
I think there's a chance, but then it becomes how dangerous an opponent do you want to put in with Gennady Golovkin to jeopardize a potential third fight with Canelo. It's tricky. It really is.
And perhaps that's what Golden Boy Canelo wouldn't mind seeing.
That's the thing when you're an Olympian and a southpaw and so good, just like Andrade. He had the same problem that Erislandy Lara had trying to get the Canelo fight, that Guillermo Rigondeaux had getting the big fight. They're just too good at that left-handed stance.
Good hard body shot by Andrade, digging in with the right hand. And off a combination to boot. Sulecki missing with the right hand. Again and again. I mentioned he landed 4 punches in the previous round and averaging 4 per round. In a normal Sulecki fight, he averages 18 punches landed per round. But this is a very different man.
The reason he's missing so much because he keeps aiming for the head. The head's not going to be there. He should be aiming for the shoulder or Andrade's elbow or shoulder. Big overhand left there.
Andrade was told that Canelo was facing or looking at the possibility of a Kovalev fight. And he said, am I that much of a threat? The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
I can understand, though, if you're the champ, you say, hey, you know what? Build up your rep. Let's make this fight a little more ripe. Canelo is in that position. But Andrade eventually can force that to happen. Maciej Sulecki's wife is there, Magdalena, obviously concerned and didn't like what she heard there. That was also shown on the big screen. Providence fans showing respect for her gumption. And they're in hostile territory, no question.
Remember to concentrate. Just do your thing.
When you're this talented, you can even be artistic. Look at that. It was somewhat of a bolo uppercut and got out of the way, just embarrassing his opponent, outclassing a top contender in Sulecki.
That's a fantastic move. I mean, just fantastic.
It's pretty.
Get in clean and move out of the way. Beautiful job by Demetrius Andrade. Sulecki unable to find the head or the body on Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade with the WBO belt, 27-0. In a middleweight titleist. And Chris, you gave that last round to Sulecki.
Look, I thought Andrade took it off a little bit too much in that round, whereas Sulecki had some decent flurries. It was close, but I gave it to Sulecki for activity.
At least opening up the possibility that 1 or 3 of the judges thought the same thing. That is, at least, this is why we do the scoring ringside, that you can say, all right, a judge could reasonably have it going the other way.
Not me. I gave it to him on defense and ring generalship. I'm telling you, he's boxing beautifully. He's embarrassing Sulecki and not really throwing much punch, especially in that last round. He just won on ring generalship.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Okay.
And Sergio, you don't get your own scorecard. So there. I think that's the important thing. Look, I thought that Andrade won that round as well, but I'm not scoring it, and the judges are concentrating, and throughout the whole 3 minutes, and Chris, you're calling the fight and you're judging at the same time, but it opens up the possibility, at least for the fans out there, to say, hey, was that round close? Was it close enough for 1 or 3 of the judges to have it that way? And it's important, I think, to know that.
Close? Yes, it was close, but who's fighting on whose terms here? I think Andrade's getting Sulecki.
But he's got to land, Sergio. That's the thing. If you do that and you outland the man scoring shots, that's a good scoring shot with the jab by Andrade, then yes. If not, then no.
And this is something of Demetrius Andrade's MO. He's very good and very aggressive in the early rounds, and when he gets up in the cards, he has a tendency to cruise a little bit. Now, that's not a knock. When you're winning, but this is sort of what we've seen from Andrade in the past.
I wonder if he will go back into that mode where he's standing in close and trading, or will he box? Look, he's well within his rights to box at this point. He's got his knockdown. He's won most of, if not all of these rounds. He can box the night away now and walk away with his win. Or does he want to close the show and put a hurting on Sulecki? I mean, we had that in our promotional shoot there. It was pretty funny when he went over to the truck that had been, blindsided and crumpled a little bit, said, that's what I'm going to do to Sulecki. That's what he did in round 1. Has not done that of late. Slower round, slower pace here in the 7th. Sulecki able to move out of the way of the jab.
Just to show how athletic Andrade is. At 6'1", he can still get really low below Sulecki's waist and still make him miss. That's athleticism. That's leg strength.
He's really just not getting hit. You wonder if Sulecki can get a rhythm going, if he can start to land, but it has not happened consistently as of yet through 7 rounds.
About time he went over there to that body with that right. Just work that body with a right. It's going to open up everything and use your jab on him, all right? All right? Pop, bang, bang, bang. It's all right there. And when he moves his head like that, you shoot that left up. Right? It's all right there.
Maciej, balans, a spróbuj lewe odchylenie, lewy, prawy. Lewe odchylenie, lewy, prawy.
You have to use your jab more balance.
Lewe odchylenie, lewy, prawy. I na zewnątrz wal lewy.
Let him miss and then counter.
We're here at the Dunkin Donuts Center in Providence, the home of Providence College basketball. Last big fight here, I'm stunned by this. Sakio Bika versus Peter Manfredo Jr. November of 2008. Your old friend, Sergio.
My old friend, absolutely. Both of them, actually. Sakio Bika won the second season of the Contender. Third season.
Your Contender adversaries. But that's a long time. That's 11 years since there was a big fight here in Providence. Well, now it's back, and Demetrius Andrade has brought it back and putting together a spectacular performance here tonight in the main event. How'd you score that last round, Chris?
I gave that to Andrade. Significantly cleaner shots landed in that one.
Sergio, I even like the instructions that Demetrius gets from his dad. They just seem to make sense every round.
Paul Sr., I mean, I've known them for a long time. They're a great 1-2 combination. He tells them exactly what he needs to hear, but he also tells them not to get carried away in there. You're having fun, yes, but you still need to take care of business.
And he tells them specific things to do. It's not dig deep. It's not, let's show some guts.
Yep.
It's like, no, do this. And Sulecki able to land a right hand.
Useful instructions.
Well, that had to help you too, right? When you got something, hey, do this specifically. Hey, double jab, do something specific. Move to your left now instead of your right.
No, my trainer was a big fan of that. He knew the color commentating wasn't needed. You didn't have to be Teddy Atlas in there and motivate you. What do you want to do? You want to land this because you got to position yourself here to land that. You don't have to say, you got to go get it, son. You can do this, you're blowing it. That's all great for the mics, but tell me what I need to do.
Round 8 scheduled for the championship 12. Sulecki with the right hand, able to find a home. They have been few and far between tonight, but he is still trying. Dogged competitor as he throws and just grazes a hook. Firing a right hand now.
Well, in Sulecki's corner, they told him that he needs to actually wait for Andrade to punch and counter. But at this point, he's not initiating, and he's giving too many rounds away with that game plan.
It's hard to do as well, Sergio, isn't it? If he's going to wait for a shot, there's going to be a shot bouncing off his head. Andrade's hands are just too fast.
And this is what makes Andrade great. It's the fact that he can win fights like this. He can disencourage. I don't think that's the word, but he can actually take the courage out of opponents, the confidence away from them by making them miss.
Discourage.
Discourage.
Disencourage should be a word.
No, probably not.
Manic's not. I knew I messed up. discourage. Okay, he can discourage him by making him miss, by outclassing him, and that's exactly what's happening here.
I thought Chris could cut you some slack, but I guess not.
Never does.
Boo-Boo on his toes now, trying to finish in style, but Sulecki able to land some shots here in round 8. Good hard body shot, and a big left hand from Andrade comes up just short, but he was able to land the shot to the body here in the final seconds.
Time to sit down on your punches, okay? Don't let them get paid. Don't let them pick nothing up. Time for you to sit, okay? And sit on your damn punches and let your hands fly. You hear me? Those lefts are there all day long, all right? How's your leg? Any better? Huh? How's your leg?
Broda przyciągnięta. Dalej
Put the head
koncentracja, bo on odpoczywa, może wystrzelić tym lewym sierpem. Okay?
You have to be aggressive. You cannot let him dictate the round.
Gramy dalej.
Well, Sulecki's corner knows, as they tell him, you have to do more to win. More success in that round. Did he do enough for you, Chris Mannix, to win that round, Sulecki?
Sulecki did not. 79-72 on my card in favor of Demetrius Andrade. Now, Brian, we can sit back and say Gennady Golovkin should want the challenge that is Demetrius Andrade, but the reason that knockouts are important and the way he fights are important, I promise you, Golovkin's watching this fight, if he is watching this fight, saying, look, this guy's not going to engage with me. He's going to frustrate me. He's going to make it a hard fight to win. And that's why he won't voluntarily get in the ring with him.
In Andrade's corner, his father told him, okay, it's time to sit down on the punches now. You need to let them hands fly. Make them feel your shots, especially that left hand.
Sulecki with the jab, able to land on Andrade. Look, it's a tough call. I could see either way, Chris, on that. You could, if you're Golovkin, you could say, hey, Canelo, you said you won that fight. The judges said you won that fight. You're the champ. You defend against Andrade. Whereas the Canelo camp could be sitting there saying, hey, you know what? How about the two of you fight and we take on one of you rather than two of you? Andrade, either way, you would believe would present a formidable challenge. And that's even if you believe that Canelo and Triple G are top 10 pound for pound, let alone 1 and 2 in the division. Andrade now content to move and jab. He has the ability to just box. This is what we expected early on.
And this is a familiar story that we're seeing with Demetrius Andrade, is the fact that he can get the early knockdowns but not close the show. And people have short-term memories. They don't remember what happened the first couple of rounds. They remember the ending, and that's the, if you are going to have a knock on Andrade, it's that. The fact that he's not putting away, he's not closing the show.
All right, we could show you a highlight reel of Andrade against Katan Dakwa back in October. That would be spectacular. But Katan Dakwa was able to finish that fight on his feet, to your point.
Same thing with Arthur Akavov. If it wasn't for the referee, that would have won the decision in the 12 as well.
And yet a supreme beatdown.
A-plus performances. Yep. They were great performances. He was offensive, he was defensive, he was somewhat of a showman with the knockdowns. I mean, he was doing everything right. He continues to do everything right, but not take these guys out.
Snapping off a jab there after he backs up Sulecki to the ropes. I think the most important thing, Andrade has now fought 3 times in 8 months here on DAZN. He had been inactive for a while, and it gave people an excuse to not fight him.
And he's happy. He's happy at the press conferences. He knows he's the best, one of the best fighters in the world. He knows he's avoided by the big names. And he's getting the biggest paydays of his career as well.
Good exchange there. Well, now he knows the fans are aware of him. So if he's known as the most avoided man in boxing, well, there's going to be a reward in that eventually. He is eventually going to have to be dealt with. Good crowd here in Providence tonight, all here to see Demetrius Andrade. And Andrade putting on a show.
Now it's looking like he's catching up on him. Yeah, keep this shit moving and he's getting paid. Okay, don't let him get big. You want to let your hands go, buddy, all right? You want to let your hands go. Right here, baby. Okay, go around. Have fun with it, Jake.
Paul Andrade, Demetrius Andrade's father, wants him to sit down on his punches, but this is definitely not sitting down on punches. He's floating with his feet right there, and he's not digging down. But then again, Sulecki's not staying there long enough for him to get and sit down on those shots.
You see the big crowd here in Providence, of 7,000-8,000 here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, seeing the title defense from their hometown hero, Demetrius Andrade, round 10, scheduled for the championship 12. And it's a matter of what do you want to see? The Andrade we saw earlier, or the Andrade that is just winning most every round? Chris Maddox, you gave that last round to Andrade and all but the 6th. Sergio, what would you like to see? Hard left hand by Andrade.
I'm seeing it. I mean, every time I watch Demetrius Andrade fight close up like this, and now that I'm calling his fights, I'm just more impressed with him. Everything he does is so pretty to watch.
I'm with you, but as we saw last time with Joseph Parker, do you stand right in front and trade and take a little bit of a chance, but maybe get the knockout? That's the guy we saw in the first round. Or do you box the night away?
Well, look, he's not boxing here. He started the round flat-footed. He's standing in front of him. It takes 2 to tango, Brian. And look, right now, it's Sulecki that's actually on the back foot a little bit. So right now, it's a little bit of both, actually.
So you want aggression, basically, is what you're saying.
Want aggression.
See if Andrade does that. Stays in there.
He stays in there. He didn't back up. He didn't bounce back. He stayed in there. It's Sulecki that's bouncing back now.
Again, that first round where Andrade had all that success, he was taking a chance, digging in with the left hand there. See, just as he is now, he gets down low and he wins shots, especially with that left hand, a dangerous left hand, looking to throw a big haymaker.
And that's the punch that Rosado dropped and hurt Sulecki with. There was an overhand looping punch like that, and it caught Sulecki off guard.
Looking to get in close, just probing with the jab. Looking to land a power shot, just as he did in round 1 and got the knockdown.
And the more defensive style that we've seen Andrade fight in these recent rounds is exactly what the kind of style he's being told to fight in his corner. Remember, after that first round, he came back and Paul Andrade said, no, 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 no wars. Yeah. Let's make it a boxing match.
Hard left hand again, whacking Sulecki this time. So to the point, Andrade in this round, in round 10, is staying close and making the fight at close range. More danger there, but more opportunity to land a hard shot. And maybe stop Sulecki. Maybe. Trying with the whacking left.
Whacking, looping lefts, but I think he's trying to set up a left uppercut. A wide left uppercut. It'll be a very dangerous punch, but he's that comfortable in there that he'll throw it.
Just winding up. Getting low and waiting for the counter.
And there's the left uppercut. It just missed. But yeah, when you're this comfortable with your hands down like this, in front of a strong, scary opponent like Sulecki, a top contender, for you to be able to punch with your hands down like that, that takes a lot of confidence.
Well, it is difficult. Sulecki has had difficulty finding his target all night long. Andrade is that good.
Maciej, nie daj mu się, opuszcza ręce, on łapie drugi oddech, opuszcza, flankuje po to, żeby ciebie zdenerwować i łapie drugi oddech, on nie ma sił.
Nie daj mu się, tak, he's not as fast as he was. He's losing strength.
Odchylenie prawy dół.
You have to throw more right punches. Just try to get his body, try to get his head.
And here's that overhand left that Andrade landed. It was a looping left hand that landed on top of the head. Rosado was able to knock down Sulecki with that shot, but it wasn't as clean and crisp as Rosado's, but still effective.
I like what he did there, Sergio. I like that he, all right, let me do a little something different. Rather than, okay, one round after another, box, 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 box.
And that's what his dad wants him to do. I mean, Senior, Paul Andrade Senior wants him to sit down on punches.
Chris, I think business-wise, it's a better plan, don't you think?
It is, to fight a more defensive style at this point, get out with the win. But you could see in that last round, Demetrius Andrade was looking for that one big shot that could change the fight. I'm also with Sulecki's corner. he's got to block some of those punches. Those aren't these crisp, fast shots coming at him. Those are big wind-ups.
Blocking those shots. Crowd reacting, but they're all blocked. I like the creativity. You know, fighters that have some imagination, and Andrade seems to have that. Able to try different styles and tactics, not just be the same robotic technique. And not even perhaps his best technique, because again, he could box the night away.
It takes confidence, experience, agility, athleticism. It takes a lot to box that comfortably like that.
And imagination.
And
again,
imagination.
He's doing different things in there, Sergio. Again, you were very creative when you were in the ring. Andrade is that.
He's artistic. He's artistic with his punch selection, that's for sure.
11th round scheduled for the championship 12, and Demetrius Andrade with an excellent performance here tonight, defending his WBO belt. Trying to stay in the mix with the superstars in the division. Constant head movement. Able to stay pretty, his face clean. Good body shots by Andrade. Sulecki moving a lot, has to be just discouraged through the night. Unable to land clean shots. It's very discouraging to have to move forward and your shots just aren't landing. It's tiring.
It's tiring, it's embarrassing, it's discouraging. When you train 8 weeks punching at something, punching at opponents, hitting a heavy bag, and then you get in there and all that work is it's not coming to fruition. You're not landing nothing. You're basically shadow boxing and missing your punches. It's very, very discouraging for Sulecki.
You have to be very mobile to be able to move around with Demetrius Andrade. Now he's back up on his bike, moving, shaking, but flashing and hitting him with the right hand.
Look, our partner here, Chris Mannix, gave Sulecki 1 round. I have it a shutout. And in your baseball terms, that might be a skunk, isn't it, Brian? Does that still happen? Skunk? No?
What are you talking about?
A skunk, 0. He hasn't done nothing. Sulecki hasn't won a round, in my opinion.
Shutout is still the term we use.
Okay, shutout. Okay, I heard skunk somewhere. I'll look it up.
Maybe it was indigenous to your neighborhood baseball games. I'm saying you're wrong.
The East LA Sandlot, maybe.
With barbecue boxing that you used to have. We've gone through 11 here in Providence.
Yes, he has to come at you heavy, all right? He's losing, all right? Well, my defense, he don't touch you. You touch him. Do you understand this? Lucio? Lucio? Work that leg. Lucio? I got it right. Lucio?
Tyczyć w ostatniej rundzie, ale broda wciągnięta w dół. I nie bina
This is the last round.
głowę w dół. I lewy się...
You have to left hook, try to do something.
Za bardzo się z głową ucieka.
I've heard Sweet Caroline a few times today. So the Yankees beat the Red Sox in London 17-13. You hear it at the Anthony Joshua fights. It's a big hit there. And they play it here in Providence as well in Red Sox territory. Demetrius Andrade in the 12th and final round. Already put his hands up to the crowd. He is winning and winning easily, winning convincingly against a very game Maciej Sulecki of Poland. Chris, how do you have it scored?
Yeah, I've got it lopsided at this point, 109-99 for Demetrius Andrade. He has been in total control throughout the course of this fight. The question is, can he finish this fight against the tough opponent in the 12th round?
And in Andrade's corner, they said, look, he doesn't touch you, you touch him. You got that? That's good instruction.
Nice and easy and to the point, and yes, hit and not get hit.
Well, he has that ability. Again, Andrade elects, and you see right there, he puts out the jab, puts out the stick.
Or in the words of Nazim Richardson, swim without getting wet.
You know, Demetrius Andrade made a good point in the fighter meetings where he said, you guys want me to go to war? Well, you're not going to come and visit me in the hospital afterwards. And that's a great point. He's in the ring, and he wants to hit and not get hit. But the realities of boxing is that he needs to entice a Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez to get into the ring with him. And a reality is here, this kind of performance is not going to entice one of those two fighters.
You don't think he did that the first half of the round? I mean, he went after it. He was more aggressive. He was more aggressive than usual, and he got that knockdown. He hurt Sulecki, and then he took his foot off the gas.
Okay, that's 1 round versus 11 the other way.
There were several of those early rounds that he was very aggressive.
I'll give you 3 rounds versus 9 the other way.
Brian, a little help here?
I think you're both right. I think right. It wasn't just the 1 round, it was several rounds. And I think he showed a different gear here. I think the bottom line is, if you're Canelo or if you're Triple G, you're wondering, do I need this guy? Like, you won't mess with him until you have to.
They need his belt. They need that WBO belt. You want to become undisputed.
Do you need it?
Well, technically, Canelo can't become undisputed because he's the franchise champion.
Again, the less you pay attention to that stuff, the better. But the last 4 WBO champs at the middleweight division, B.J. Saunders, Andy Lee, Peter Quillen, and Hassan Ndam. So this has never been the home of the middleweight champion, at least going back to when the WBO champ was Sergio Martinez. And then it was, Jermaine Taylor. Before that, it was Bernard Hopkins. Those guys were the real champs. I say Canelo is the middleweight champion of the world already. That said, again, having the belt helps. I think the main thing is that Andrade is clearly one of the top middleweights in the world, and he should only be avoided for so long if you're going to call yourself the champ.
He absolutely is, and as I sit here, I would love to see Demetrius Andrade versus Gennady Golovkin next. I'm just telling you, if I make a phone call to one of Golovkin's people on Monday morning, they're going to tell me they don't want that fight.
Well, here was the showcase for Demetrius Andrade, and he is winning most every round in front of his hometown fans in a terrific and convincing victory. Sulecki did everything he could, but he was just up against a higher level middleweight, supremely skilled world titleist at the top of his game. He looked tremendous, Sergio.
He looked like the big bad wolf at 160 pounds, and that's the reason he came out with that mask.
I think he also wanted to prove something in front of the hometown fans, give them a show. And in that first round, and more, but mainly in that first round, he made things exciting. Sulecki landed single digits in total punches in all 12 rounds. That's how good defensively Andrade was. And offensively, it was that first round, Sergio.
That first round, that overhand left to the top of Sulecki's head, put him down, and not for nothing, Andrade did go for the finish. He was very aggressive, going at Sulecki, getting him against the ropes, winging away, keeping that chin down, power behind every shot right there. Just Sulecki was a little bit too crafty and tough. Not for nothing, Sulecki did take some big shots to the body and the head.
Well, Sulecki really hung in there, Sergio. He had every reason to think, look, this is not my night. Getting overwhelmed, frustrated throughout, but he was able to clear his head and finish this fight. Did what he could. He just couldn't catch that man.
He couldn't catch that man, and he's a top contender, but he got outclassed by a champion tonight.
Michael Buffer is ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards after 12 rounds. All 3 judges have it the same. 120 to 107 to the winner by a very unanimous decision. The fighting pride of Providence, Rhode Island, USA. Still undefeated, still WBO middleweight champion of the world, Demetrius Andrade.
Michael Buffer, very accurate there, in very unanimous every single round. Let me ask you this, Sergio. Was that the best Andrade we've seen?
I think every time I see this man, he gets better and better. That was a masterclass performance by a terrific, artistic boxer. Just the total package of a champion. Yes, the best I've seen Demetrius Andrade.